If you have no energy, chances are that you're nutrient deficient. Okay, and there's a lot of different nutrient deficiencies that people tend to struggle from: iron, selenium, manganese, copper, zinc. And some of these are because your body's not digesting food properly and not uptaking food properly, right? So things like coenzyme Q10 is the main nutrient that your body needs to produce energy. Coenzyme Q10. But here's the thing, many people make the mistake of going out and buying all these supplements, and they'll go get a CoQ10, coenzyme Q10 supplement. They'll try to take it, and what happens is that's going into your gut. But if you're lacking probiotics, or if you have bad bacteria, that nutrient is basically not going to be absorbed by the body. I meet a lot of people who have dozens, 20, 30 different full cabinet full of supplements, and they're not getting anything out of them. It doesn't work for them, and that's because the big issue that you need to address is the bad bacteria in your gut. And this made sense to me just because of what I saw in the brewing process. I realized that if I had a wild yeast, which is an infected batch of beer, that the beer wasn't going to have any nutrients, no vitamins, and it was going to be toxic. And it's the reason why we dump it out. We throw everything away, and then we have to clean and sanitize. This is literally what I realized I needed to do with my body. If I have some bad bacteria in my gut, which I did, which is why I was gaining weight, why my hair was falling off, what I thought was, wow, this is just like a spoiled batch of beer. I have some wild yeast, I had yeast overgrowth, which, reasons for yeast overgrowth can be dehydration, lack of minerals, a low pH, and then the biggest one, I had a sweet tooth. I'm normal just like everyone else. I eat all kinds of different foods. And again, when I thought about this, I'm like, wow, this is just like a spoiled batch of beer. Like, what can I do? Well, the only thing that I can think of is I gotta clean and sanitize my gut. How do we clean? You gotta have the right water for that, right? And so this is why this is so important to understand, because if you're starting out and you're just focusing on like, oh, I'm drinking two quarts of water, I got hydration down. No, you don't. In fact, I'm going to be going into a lot more detail into hydration inside of my program Energy Bootcamp. And I'm actually going to be sharing recipes of what would be like my version of like a sports drink. Like, how do you get electrolytes into the cells of your body? Because it's one thing to add minerals to water, which yes, that it doesn't increase conductivity and it helps you hydrate, but to actually get your body to absorb it and to get it into the cells of your body, that's a whole different process, because now you have water that needs to go into your gut and then get distributed into all parts of your body. And it's just like a tree. When you have a tree, you may water the roots, right? So if you're here and you're watering the tree, the water goes into the roots, but it's the roots that literally uptake all of the nutrients and basically deliver it all the way up until the leaves, the fruit, the seeds. And your body's the same way. All the water that you're taking in, it's going into your gut, and then your body's basically distributing it from there to your hands, your hair, your legs, everywhere else. And then for them to actually get into the cells, that's basically what hydration is for. So that's going to be a topic that I'm going to be covering in a lot more detail inside of my program, Energy Bootcamp. Let me finish and wrap this up with this last part, which there's different things that I understand when it comes to water and hydration, just because of the things that I saw in the brewing process. One thing that you may have heard me say in the video I showed you earlier where I'm teaching how to brew beer, there's pH. Okay, if you guys have been in the group, you've seen me post pictures or videos of me getting spring water from Sedona, which has really good mineral content, natural electrolytes, and it has a pH of 8. And pH is a complicated topic, but I oftentimes see people, drink alkaline water, but they have no clue what that's doing to their body. They have no clue how that's affecting digestion. They have no clue if they're drinking that at the right time. If you ask me what kind of water I use all kinds of different water, and I don't always have access to good water. Sometimes when I travel, there's different things that I'm dealing with. I mean, I have a reverse osmosis system. I have a water distilling machine. I have an alkaline water machine. I have minerals. I have different ways that I can basically, make water. And then there's other things that I need to be aware of. Like when I'm traveling, for example, I just got back from Colorado. There's different things that are in water that aren't always, easy to remove. There's off gases. There's, all kinds of different things. And in order for you to really decide, is my water like safe to drink? Like how much water should I drink based on what you have? Here's a few things that I can tell you. Number one, I mentioned that diet can actually affect how much water you need. For example, I used to start out with 10 gallons of water and I would soak grains, right? Usually about 9 pounds, rough, give or take, depending on what kind of beer I'm making. And this 10 gallons, I will lose about a third to grain absorption, basically the grain grabbing water and minerals to convert starch into sugar. So if you have a diet where you eat a lot of empty carbs, right? You eat a lot of bread, you maybe just eat a lot of carbs and hydrate. This basically is going to mean that you need to up your water intake. If you are detoxing, which, at the moment you start adding minerals and nutrients into your body, starts to turn on your body's own self-cleansing mechanism, you're pretty much detoxing from the very beginning. That is going to require you to up your water intake. These are just simple things because you're looking at the quantity of water that needs to be going up. But now what about quality of water? How does that affect you? Because unless you live in a place like, Flint, Michigan, or other places where they have like really bad water, you may have to make a bit of a compromise if you don't have access to clean water. Because, and I don't have the answer to this when people ask me, it's like, hey, I don't have a water distilling machine and I think my water is toxic. Like, how much should I drink? Should I not drink it? And that's basically asking, it's like, should I dehydrate myself or should I drink toxic water? I don't know. These are the things that, to me, when I teach this stuff, okay, the fact that you have awareness of this is a big win. Because prior to this, again, when I was 28, when a lot of this was happening to me, I had no idea that any of this was even a thing. How would I have ever known that brewing beer was going to be the one topic that was going to teach me more about health than anything else? But these are the kind of things that I started to think about and ask myself, like, okay, like if I don't have clean water, what do you do, right? Like, do you not drink a lot more water? And the answer to me is like, I honestly don't know. But that's what we're seeing all around the country. We're seeing a lot of people drinking water that's treated, that has either chlorine, chloramines, fluoride, heavy metals, a bunch of things that are not even regulated, that are not even tested for. And all of that is going into people's immune system. There's pesticide residue from local farms. There's all kinds of different things that are affecting people's immune system. And it all starts with the amount of water that you're drinking. And if you're tired, if you have no energy, this to me is the very first thing that you need to look at. Because before you start getting into nutrients like coenzyme Q10 or whatever else you may need, you have to understand this one thing with water and digestion. If your body can't break down protein, if your body can't break down starch, all of that food is going to get lodged up in your gut, and your body needs to break that down somehow. And that's really the purpose of bad bacteria, whether it's yeast overgrowth, parasites, H. pylori, whatever bad bacteria may be in your gut. That's the purpose of it. Again, the reason why this is considered bad is because it releases toxicity. But not only that, bacteria, that the way that they eat food, they don't have teeth. They release digestive enzymes. Those digestive enzymes, they eat you up. Okay, so if you have any sort of antibodies going on in your body, whether your thyroid's being attacked or any other part of your body that's releasing antibodies, like in my case, my liver was releasing I had elevated liver enzymes. A lot of those are basically coming from the bad bacteria. And this is where it all starts. And so sometimes the reason why some people become deficient in nutrients is because certain nutrients like selenium, this is an antioxidant that your body uses to fight off a lot of the, inflammation produced from, the bad enzymes coming from bad bacteria. And if you have bad bacteria constantly releasing these enzymes and producing toxicity, your body's going to become depleted of selenium. And it's one thing for it to fight off, but selenium is used for a lot of different purposes. And this is where a lot of things start to go wrong. This is where your entire environment just starts to go haywire. And this is basically why the biggest thing that you need to understand from this is quantity of water, quality of water, and then the last is use of minerals in water. Understand that you're going to have to mineralize yourself, but when you mineralize, you're going to be starting a detox process. And when you start a detox process, that's going to require you to increase your clean water intake. It's one thing to drink 2 quarts of mineralized water. That is going to start a detox process. That's going to require you to drink clean water. if you want to get all of that toxic waste out of your body. These are uses of water that if you don't understand, I like in my programs, I personally won't share a lot of heavy detox protocols unless someone understands this concept right here. This is one of the reasons why I'm sharing this. This is going to be a required, like, must watch video for anyone going through my programs. And it's going to be one of those requirements where, like, hey, if you don't understand how to clean your body, how to make sure that you're removing toxic waste out of your body, the importance of having a clean source of water, and the difference between that and mineralized water, it's going to be hard for me to help you, because moving toxins is no joke. For me to sit here and tell you that I can produce energy, that I can get good sleep, that my microbiome is so clean that, like, I'm pretty lean right now. So I'm in, I'm 36. I was 28 when I was going through a lot of this. I'm in way better shape than I was in my 20s. I just got back from a trip from Colorado where I was literally eating a bunch of, junk and food that I typically don't eat, and I didn't gain weight. I stayed just as lean, and it's because my gut is clean. And that's literally what I'm trying to teach you here. I'm trying to teach you to clean your gut, to learn how to create an environment to grow probiotics, because when you grow probiotics, everything else just seems to take care of itself. Gas, bloating, constipation, that goes away when you have a good, healthy gut. Your ability to produce energy, right, that it becomes easier. Your ability to produce hormones, whether it's dopamine, serotonin, melatonin, so you can fall asleep, so you can feel good, so you're not anxious all the time, right? Converting thyroid hormone T4 into T3. It's easier when you have the right gut flora that does a lot of that work for you. Your testosterone, estrogen, balancing all of those hormones, all of that stuff is done by probiotics. So you can see how the number one thing that has helped me with energy and really to overcome a lot of my health challenges that I faced really all boil down to digestion. And if you can understand water, the role that water plays in digestion, and really learn it, and trust me, there's a lot to learn with it. I'm going on an hour here and I've not even scratched the surface on this. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a much deeper training on hydration inside of Energy Bootcamp. Other than that, I hope that you guys are starting to see how this can be a path for you to produce more energy, get better sleep, and lose weight. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you later. All right. Have a good night, everyone.